Relax, the world is wide. Oh, 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 oh. Close your eyes, take a mental ride. Oh, 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 oh. Classrooms in Paris, libraries in Milan. Where do you want to stand when the day dawns? Yeah. Is it Dublin's green or Barcelona's sun? Pick your place, the journey's begun. The study of Radboud, yeah. Dreaming, live it anywhere. The study of Radboud, yeah. Life's changing, skies are fair.
Great, welcome everybody. Welcome to this webinar. If you joined in to hear more about the program Molecular Mechanisms of Disease, and that program will be explained to you by the experts in this topic that we have lined up for you. So we have 3 presenters for you today. My name is Luc Mulling, I'm the moderator, and I'm just here to explain you a little bit how this will work and how you can interact. So first of all, you can tell us, like I see some people already start doing in the chat, you can write where you're logging in from. It will be great just to see some of the diversity of the audience. And second of all, of course, if you have any questions, by all means, write them through the panel called questions. If you write them there, then we make sure that we don't miss out on any questions. And we will be answering them throughout, or at least after the session, after the presentation. Also, I'll be opening up some polling questions. So already did that as well. So we started off with a first warm-up question, just to know what is the most important to you in selecting a university program. And thank you for your votes. Also, by the way, people, if you are watching the recording, you can all participate the same way. You can also answer polls in all those as well. And last but not least, we also have still a little fun button, so to say. So there's a button that is possible to, basically let us know your favorite remark, so to say. If you have it's called the emoji reaction, I should say. So it's called at the bottom of the screen, react. If you click on that, then it will activate. Exactly, that's the one. And that's just to make it a little bit more fun and interactive for the presenters. Now let's go over to presenters, and they will introduce themselves, starting with Luz and the 2 students she has with her. So Luz, go ahead.
Hi everyone, welcome to this webinar, Molecular Mechanisms of Disease. My name is Loos. I am working as an admissions officer at the Faculty of Medical Science at Radboud University. And today we will present Molecular Mechanisms of Disease, as I mentioned. And with me are 2 of our first-year international students. Lara, I think...
Hi everyone.
And Sophie.
Hello. Nice to meet you, even if virtually, but yeah.
Yeah, thanks. And together we will present the M&D program. I will start with a broad start about the Netherlands, a little bit about Nijmegen and the university, and then we go in depth into the program, and Sophie and Lara will share their experiences. So the Netherlands, a lot of you know it as the land of tulips and Heineken beer and windmills, of course, but we also have a very good reputation of education. So after the UK and the US, the Netherlands has the most universities in the top 200 of the world, and all 13 research universities that we have in our country are in the top 200 of the world, so or in the top 1%. So we're very proud of our strong education, and you can't really go wrong in the Netherlands. We have 13 research universities and about 50 applied sciences universities, and we are a research university. And then we are located in a city called Nijmegen, very difficult to pronounce, but a very nice city. For Dutch terms, the Netherlands, it's medium size, around 180,000 citizens, so quite small for most of you, I guess. We're the oldest city in the Netherlands, as you can also see in the picture, some nice old buildings, but we have a very big young student population because we have 2 universities, so there's always something going on. And I thought maybe it's also nice, Lara, if you maybe can share your first impression of the Netherlands or of Nijmegen when you came here.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm still a little bit louder. No?
I
Okay,
find you hard
better?
to understand. Sorry. Oh,
It's fine.
well,
Okay.
maybe
Mm,
Sophie,
oh,
you can say what your first impression was. We'll wait for Lara to be back.
for sure. Yeah, actually, I came to the Netherlands about 3 months ago because I'm from Italy. So yeah, that was my first time studying abroad. And my first impression was that it was really sunny, actually, surprising. So that was great. It was a great month of August and September. The city is really, really beautiful. I mean, the city center is very rich, both in history and different types of buildings. I do find its size to be quite nice because bigger cities can be a bit scary when we move abroad for the first time. So this is a nice first city to be abroad, I think. And also, it's extremely international. I met so many different people from so many different backgrounds here. So I would say my first impressions were quite good. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the slides. So I want to keep it a bit short about the broad things. So onto the university, we are a university of around 25,000 students, 7 different faculties, so quite broad. And the program we're talking about today is in one of those faculties, Faculty of Medical Sciences. But Radboud University is doing well in the rankings. It's also scoring very high on sustainability. So I wrote here, we have the ambition to become completely energy neutral and a 100% sustainable campus. We're also a very green campus in terms of when you look around, there's lots of trees and park-like feeling, a lot of grass, and very compact. So all the faculties, all the disciplines, research institutes are together on roughly 2 square kilometers. So it's very easy to work together with different faculties to meet up with students from other programs, etc. So we're the Faculty of Medical Sciences, like I mentioned. We are a collaboration between the hospital and the university. And as you see in the logo below, Radboud University and Radboud University Medical Center, 2 different organizations working together. And the great thing about that is that we, as an educational program, we're based in the hospitals. So we have a very strong clinical component, a focus on translational research, so bench to bedside courses. And you'll see that back in the program that we'll be presenting. The aims of the Molecular Mechanisms of Disease program, or MMD, which is much easier to say. The aim is to establish a bridge between, on the one hand, fundamental research, and the other hand, the clinic, so human disease, like I said, bench to bedside. The second aim is to understand the molecular basis of diseases, which will help improve diagnosis and treatment. And the third aim that we have is really to teach you guys in the most interactive way possible, a very engaging way, which we will also show later on. The key themes that we build our courses around are 3 of our key research themes. They're immunity, infection, and inflammation, metabolism, transport and motion, and cell growth and differentiation. So we have theoretical courses built around these themes. And on top of that, you have research internships, scientific skills. And together that will be a 2-year program that will talk a lot about in depth. I see Devin Blom is already asking for the content of the program. We're getting there. And this program has been voted the #1 master in life science in the Netherlands for, I think, 8 times out of the last 10 years. So we're very proud of that. And that's done in the Keuzegids, which is a Dutch publication, but is based on a survey of all current students, international and Dutch together. So MMD is ranked really high in this program. So, program structure. It's a 2-year program, as I mentioned. You start in the first year with theoretical courses. We always start on the 1st of September. Up until January, you'll have the courses built around the 3 themes that I just mentioned. And they all start with the core fundamental part and a translational part, followed by a translational part. So you'll first learn about the knowledge, the basic knowledge, and then how that's applied in the clinic. We also have computational biology and master classes spread out through the year, and I will show you that in a later slide. But we start first in September with an introduction course, and then there's some scientific communication and statistics skills as well. Then everyone starts their first internship in a second term, and that's always in the Radboud Institute of Medical Innovation, or in the Radboud UMC, I should say. And while you're doing that internship, you also have some workshops in the afternoons covering scientific skills. And you could even still do an elective course next to your internship. Then in year 2, we start again in September with some theoretical courses. I mentioned a few here, amongst data analysis, science and society, and again, a masterclass. Then you can do some elective courses in October and possibly November. That depends on your second internship. Do you want to go abroad already in November, or do you want to leave in December? Most students go abroad. You don't have to, but it's very strongly encouraged. And that's also the end of the program, your second internship. Then you come back for your graduation ceremony, basically. And good to know is that all these courses are taught in person. So we have quite a small group, a very strong family feeling with the group. Everyone gets to know each other very well. And we cannot achieve that online. So all courses are taught on campus. I see the hearts coming in, which is really nice. I think the students really enjoy that part as well. Right, Lara? See you move to another room, but how was your experience with the group when you arrived?
Well, firstly, it was a bit, it was different than what I had experienced in my bachelor's, because in my bachelor's, obviously, just one course for every person.
Can you move a bit closer to the microphone? Because it's...
yeah, straight. Is it better now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, in my bachelor's, it was a bit different because you have different groups per course, and here it was a really deeply individual and personal for meeting different people, and you're sort of forced to interact with them, which on one hand might sound scary to some people if they're not used to it. However, in my experience, it was perfectly fine, and with the whole group, you sort of make a little tight-knit community.
Yeah, that's what we hear a lot from the students as well. And I see Sophie nodding. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Let's get
and to add, today we all survived the really horrible immunity exam.
Oh, you had an exam today, all of you.
We did.
Yes.
It made us all feel a lot closer together.
And tonight you will all celebrate together that it's over, right? Oh, that's cool. Let's see, next slide. So why choose MMD? It's a very structured program, which I think it has quite a high pace and it's quite intense, but at the same time, because it's so structured, it's pretty clear what you have to focus on at what time. International student group, small group as well. We have a maximum of 24 students usually. In exceptional cases, we can maybe start with 26, 27 students, but we've also started with 10 or 12 students if we didn't get the applicants we thought were the right ones for the program. You'll be in close contact with researchers from the Radboud UMC. We have a lot of different interactive learning formats. As I mentioned already, 2 internships, one of which abroad, and students really go to renowned institutes. So they really go to MIT, Karolinska, Cambridge. Of course, not everyone, but a lot of them do. And I think it's also really cool in this program that we don't only focus on the theoretical knowledge, but also on academic skills. So you will learn how to apply for grants, how to write a research proposal. A lot of students who are pretty nervous of presenting when they start the program, they completely don't care anymore at the end to do a presentation. It's fine, it's easy. So these skills are also something you really need in your working life afterwards. I think there's also a lot of attention to personal and professional development. So both in terms of courses as in terms of mentoring. You'll have a personal mentor who's an experienced researcher in the program and who will help you plan your individual study program and your internship, for example. And the program really prepares you for a career inside and outside of academia. So a little bit more about the types of learning, the interactive learning that I was mentioning. Like I said, we have theoretical courses around the theme, existing of fundamental knowledge, and translational courses. And the translational course, for example, here we talk about 3 short courses of 7 days, starting with 4 days about 4 different diseases. So every day 1 disease, and you'll become an expert in 1 day. After that, you'll have 2 days to study and then an exam. In this example, so that's the translational course for the developmental disorders and malignancies. You'll see on day 1, you focus on blood cell disorders, on day 2 on neuropathology, and so on. And then there's different kinds of training that you have related to that. So peer teaching presentations or a patient lecture. So a lot of variation, also quite packed days, quite full days, I think. Then I mentioned a masterclass. Twice a year we have a 1-week masterclass. No, once a year, twice in the program, I should say, where we invite international top speakers around a current theme and who present their cutting-edge research. And there's a lot of different ways of exchanging knowledge there and sharing practices. So you have a journal club, you have seminars, etc. And then, like I mentioned, you see the horizontal lines I already explained. So theoretical courses, internship, and the 2nd year theoretical and elective course and internship. But in the vertical lines, we have ongoing learning lines. The first one's personal and professional development, which will run for the full 2 years. Then there's scientific skills, which runs mostly during your internship in the 1st year, and the computational data analysis courses. So, I mentioned personal professional development, dive a little bit into this. It's only 1.5 credits for small activities spread out over 2 years, where you learn to critically reflect on yourself and others, but also on what is your next step going to be in your career. Then there's a focus on personality tests and team roles, especially in the introductory course, but also scientific skills. For example, during your internship, you'll attend some workshops where you will write a CV or motivation letter, etc., and career planning. And as I mentioned before, you'll have a personal mentor who's a researcher. You'll have peer review sessions. And if you run into any trouble, there's a study advisor and other help, from psychologists to financial help to team social work, who can help you with any personal or professional problems in your study time. Scientific skills. Mentioned afternoon workshops during the first internship. Here's some of the things that you're focusing on. I'm not going to read everything out loud, but I think good to know internship report writing, for example. We don't just leave you there. We'll help you figure out how things work and how you need to do these things. And this covers, like I said, from CV writing and data management to communication and publishing. And the third vertical line was computational data analysis. There are 3 courses spread out over the 1st and 2nd year. Statistics and data analysis, computational biology, and omics data analysis. I think they're not the favorite courses of most students, but I think they're necessary and relevant. So we spread this out over the 2 years while you're doing other things in the meantime. Then, of course, once you've gone through the program, you want to know, what can I do afterwards? Well, our alumni end up working in varying positions. This alumni, Lisa, she actually recorded a nice video about what she's doing now and how she ended up there. So I want to ask Luc to play that video, please.
Hi, I am Lisa and welcome to a day in my life. I studied at the Radboud University and now I'm working as a scientist in academia. I always start the day with a cup of coffee and I get ready to get to work. I first take my bike, continue by S-Bahn, and then enter the beautiful Charité campus in Berlin. I start the day by presenting a recent publication in our journal club. I then analyze data and prepare and plan for upcoming experiments. In the afternoon, I go into the lab. I label some Eppendorf tubes, take my cells out of the incubator and out of the hypoxic chamber, check if they look healthy and happy, and then I harvest my samples. I study microglia, which are the immune cells present in the brain, and I study the role of interferon signaling during their normal, healthy state and also during viral infection. Time to clean up, go home, and enjoy the evening. Bye!
Thank you. Yeah, so this is Lisa. I mentioned earlier that with the MMD family, that all students get to know each other really well. I think the alumni community is also quite strong. So if you now think, oh, I want to have a chat with Lisa, you can just look her up on LinkedIn, say you're considering MMD, and she'll be happy to chat to you. And I think same goes for Lara and Sophie. If you have any questions, please reach out to them. But this is one example. We asked all our graduated students some long ago, some recent graduates, what they're doing now, and there came this word cloud out of it. So you see a lot of students are currently, or ex-students are currently doing their postdoc or their PhD, work as a scientist, but you also see some students ended up elsewhere as a translator or advisor or consultant. We have a video about this, but we will share that later in the chat because of the time it takes. But this is a video about a prospective MMD student interviewing alumni with 4 different alumni to hear where they ended up, which is really nice, I guess. But we'll share that in the chat. So this is what I wanted to tell about the program. In a moment, I'm going to pass the word to the students. But if you recognize yourself in these 3 questions, so do you aim to make a valuable contribution to biomedical research? Are you curious about disease mechanisms, and do you want to work together internationally? Then this might be a really good match for you. I will be back in a moment after the students presented their parts with the more practical things on how to apply, etc. So we're going to start with Sophie. If you can unmute yourself, and I will mute myself in the meantime. Just let me know when to go through to the next slides.
Okay, yeah. All right, I already introduced myself. I'm Sophie, I'm from Italy, and I am a first-year master student in MMD. You can go to the next one, please. And yeah, you can see 3 pictures of Nijmegen and the Radboud University, which I chose. I thought they were really beautiful and they represent the city quite well. Next, please. And yeah, who am I? So I am Italian, but I'm also French. I'm half and half. That's not really relevant, but there you go. I studied my bachelor's in Italy, and I wanted to go and study my master's abroad to have more opportunities and just to see more of the world. And this is why I chose MMD, actually, among other things. Next, please. So exactly, why did I choose MMD? There were 3 main reasons, which were, of course, the program and the content of the program. As Luz already explained pretty well, there are 3 core fundamental themes with the translational aspects as well. And those take place in the first semester of the first year. In fact, we're almost done with those. And indeed, the program is quite well structured, which means that you know what you need to do, you know what you need to study every single time. So that's quite helpful. We get quite a bit of direction in that. And the courses are not just theoretical courses, but they're also quite interdisciplinary because, yes, we do study the material quite in depth, but we also get to develop many different skills like presenting, researching, reading papers, writing proposals. We've already written 2 in the span of 2 months and a half, which was really helpful. And obviously the research focus is also quite interesting in this master's because every single lecture we have had has been a researcher at the Radboud UMC. And also recently some researchers from Amsterdam have come to give us lectures, which is really interesting. And especially the internships drew me in because having 2 internships is quite interesting in my opinion. So the first one will be at the Radboud UMC during the 2nd semester of the first year, and the second internship is going to take place in the 2nd semester of the 2nd year, which could be anywhere in the world, in any institute that you dream of. So that's really interesting. And obviously the career and personal development aspect is also very important, which I already mentioned, and especially in learning how to think like a researcher. Next, please. So yeah, the interview is actually what scares most prospective students. It scared me as well, but it's not that bad. I mean, okay, to be taken into MMD, there are 2 steps. a two-step selection process. The first one is done on basically your prior experience, and the second one is an interview, which can take place via Teams or in presence. Mine was on Teams, and it's basically a set of theoretical questions, 15 to be precise, and other more research-oriented questions, but also skill-based. But honestly, they're not that difficult in my opinion, and you should just go in quite confident of what you know and how you come to the conclusions you come to, because that's really what they care about. They just care about seeing your thought process and how your mind works, and yeah, how you can present yourself to the world. So I think if you're confident in that, then it's great. Next, please. And yeah, obviously the skills that you will acquire during MMD are a lot. They're very varied, which is great. We're already learning so much in just 2 months and a half, in my opinion. So we've already done many presentations. As I've said before, we have written 2 research proposals already, which I had never done before, so that's great. Many technical skills will be acquired during our internships as well, which is great. And obviously in every single task that we have, we learn to think critically and analytically, and also interpreting data is going to be part of both the internships and in general the courses. And obviously the soft skills are very important as well, because as we are a small team, we need to learn how to work with everyone and anyone. So that's very important for future prospects as well. And we have a personal mentor, which I think is really nice, which allows us to self-reflect and see how we've been doing and what we could improve. So that's also very nice. Next, please. And yeah, I mean, obviously, this is a master's program, so we need to study for it, but it's really important to also balance this with fun activities outside of MMD. So as you can see on the right of the slides, I wrote life outside of MMD. You will still have time for hobbies and traveling and dinners and fun things. You just kind of need to find your own balance. That's okay, that's totally doable. In fact, for that, study advisors and your personal mentor can help with any questions you have. And that's also very, very helpful. And before MMD, I'm going in the other direction, but yeah, before MMD, it was quite helpful to communicate with the admission office for me, because as an international student, I had quite a few questions during the admission process about documents, and they were always very helpful and friendly in answering my questions. So that was really helpful. And I made it, I'm here, so it's great. Okay, next slide, please. Is it the last slide that I had? I remember. Oh yeah, okay, perfect.
Okay, so I guess I'll take it over. Thank you, Sophie. Hello, everyone. I'm Lara, and I'm also giving my student experience. So, who am I? I'm also a first-year MMD student. I'm also in university program. So I moved quite a bit because I always knew I wanted to study abroad. I moved from Zagreb, where I was born, into Toledo, which is the United States, and then I found that going too far, and I decided to find the Netherlands, where I did my bachelor's, and then now I'm living in Arnhem and studying in Nijmegen. And after that, I asked for some more introduction. Excuse for that. So I did my bachelor's in biomedical and life sciences, and that's where I sort of realized that I want to take the research route, because I had some quite limited research experience, and I thought I knew what it meant, but when I was immersed into it fully, starting in the molecular mechanisms of disease, as I will go into a little bit further, that's when I kind of decided that this is really what I want to do. So why did I choose MMD as well? So for me, what was most interesting was the access to new research and also to the researchers that are doing it. I always found asking questions in class kind of scary because when you ask something to a professor, they sometimes don't know it or they don't really want to answer, or maybe your classmates will look at you a little funny. But I don't think that really happens here because everybody is really encouraged to ask as many questions as they can. There is no wrong questions. Uh, you're encouraged to ask at the beginning of every class we've had this semester, and we've had many classes several times a day during the course days. At the beginning, they always say, "Please, we want to make it interactive," which for me was just great. Um, then the main research themes were really interesting to me as well because they kind of covered what I had in my bachelor's, but far more in depth. And then um, they also covered it from a different perspective. The soft skills I didn't really think that I needed until I got to MMD and I realized that I definitely needed a refresher on how to collaborate with people in a um, in a master's level because at a bachelor's level everyone knows that sometimes you have a group assignment, but usually you uh, have someone write the abstract, you have someone write the introduction of a paper, and you call it a day. But when you're really putting your effort and your passion into research, into a grant proposal, as we did twice already this semester, like Sophie mentioned, you want to make sure that you also really read the whole paper and that you offer critical and constructive criticism to your peers because it is also important for their growth, not just yours. And that is something that we learned at the beginning of the semester. And we also sort of tested the field and saw what works with people and what works for us. Then for career development, that was really important for me, not on the um, I wanted to promote myself into a high standing career sort of thing, but I really was interested in what am I interested in when it comes to research? And it's such a broad theme, and of course, we're still exploring it in our first year. But because you get to speak with so many researchers, and of course, your own personal mentor, it goes a lot smoother and a lot easier, I would say. Um, so, student support and life for me was a bit rocky because, or a bit different than maybe for other students because again, I don't live in Nijmegen, which means that I travel, I commute about 40 minutes in one direction and then 40 minutes back at the end of the day. But that honestly works out fine. I also work outside of class, which means that I have limited time, but I'm still surviving and thriving, I would say. The admission process for me was quite smooth. Also, really thanks to Lewis and the whole admissions team because I sent them a bunch of emails, as well as to the buddy who I had, which was a student from the year above us. Um, and she really helped guide me and solve all of my worries about the, for example, interview. I remember that I was sending her emails as I was going to the interview, and I asked her, um, because for some reason I thought that I had to bring my grade book, like bring my grades printed out, and I saw that like not all of them were A's. I was wondering if they were going to judge that or if they were going to like automatically exclude me from the list, blacklist me from entering Radboud. She was like, no, please don't worry, you'll be fine, and also stop studying. You don't need to study. But I'll get back to the interview in a second. So the introductory days were really fun because we got to meet not only people from MD but also from the biomedical sciences program, and you really form connections that serve you later in the semester. but also maybe later in life. I don't know yet. I ended up meeting 2 girls during the introduction days with whom I'll be working on my internship, which is really fun. Extracurricular activities for me mostly include nature and walking around. But my suggestion in the Netherlands, where I've been living now for 4 years, and as someone who in 4 years learned Dutch, go to the library. It is such a wonderful place. The Netherlands has great libraries. Whatever library I've been to has not disappointed so far. So what skills have I improved? I like the fact that I could always study in a sort of really detailed manner. However, in MMD, you get exposure to so many new things on a daily basis and throughout one day that you are forced to consider it from several different perspectives at a time. And that is really helpful in this broad yet in-depth perspective, approach, because it also rewires your neurons to think outside the box. And you always get to present this knowledge in some way, shape, or form. And this way, not only do you learn it better, but you can also, well, see if you actually learn that because you need to present it, and then you get questions about what you presented, which is a good way to test your knowledge and also to keep your peers on their toes when you want to pose them a really hard question during the presentation. Teamwork is really important because again we present everything and we work on almost everything together, and yeah, I think that teamwork is something that for me definitely improved. And I put academic writing in there as well because um, we all come from different backgrounds, which means that we all had different backgrounds of academic writing. And for me, a big shock was also in writing papers and writing reports because I didn't really know what the Radboud structure was. But because, again, there were other students that did already, I didn't find it so much of a problem. And this is a photo from the introductory days where I met some of the friends I'm really close with still. Just thought I'd throw it in. Now, interview, it's a nice discussion. I was told after my interview that that was the longest one that they had. Not to brag, but it was really just fun. They asked, I don't know, am I allowed to say what they asked me?
In not too much detail, also considering
In
the time.
not much detail, they asked me how I would design my ideal research something. And I see a nod. That's okay. That's not too much detail. And to me, that was great because that's what I like the most, and I like the creative part of designing research. And honestly, it's nothing to worry about. And now it sounds like we're trying to indoctrinate you and tell you, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. But that's because we are, and because we really like what we do. I haven't met a single person in the program who has decided that they will stop. And since we all talk and we're really close, we would find out sooner or later. But so far, all of the people who you see in this photo are still with us. They're in one piece, even after a whole semester of exams and what sounds and what looks like an intensive program. But ultimately, if this is what we want to do, and if those 3 points that Lewis mentioned are something that you correspond with, then I definitely suggest it. And hope to see you next semester.
Thank you very much for that, both Sophie and Lara. Yeah, and I think that's what we hear back a lot from students. They're very nervous for the interview, and afterwards they say it was actually quite nice. But that's, yeah, it's very good to hear your experiences as well. And also glad to hear that we've been able to help you and answer your questions in the process beforehand. Okay, then some practical information about, I'm going the wrong way. Admission requirements. So you need a bachelor degree from a research university in life science or related. As long as there's enough cell biology and molecular biology, you're eligible to apply. Doesn't mean, of course, you will be admitted, because you also will need above average grades. For Dutch standards, we work from 1 being the worst and 10 being a perfect score, 6 being a pass, at least a 7.5 average for this program. You also need to have a strong motivation to make a meaningful contribution. We ask for a motivation letter. I'll show you later on what else you need to submit. But that motivation is also important, and it also is something that is discussed in the interview. At least 2 months of research experience. Usually it's an internship or a project in your bachelor's, but sometimes students have done that voluntarily after their bachelor, for example. Then you go to StudyLink, which is the Dutch national system to apply for a program. You choose MMD. You can choose up to 4 programs there, but you choose MMD, and then you will receive the login details for our university system called Osiris. And there you need to upload some documents. I mentioned the motivation letter already. You need to upload a resume, including some references or details from referees. Of course, your transcript, course descriptions, etc. If you already have it, an English test. If not, you can submit that later. That's fine. If you're from outside the European Economic Area, it says EU, but it should be EEA, you need to pay a handling fee, which will be returned to you after enrollment. So if you're admitted and enrolled, you will get the money back. If you defer to next year, you won't have to pay it again either. Once you've done all this, you can submit your application. We will then receive your application and go through it. Our selection committee will check if you meet all the requirements, and if so, you will be invited for an interview, as the students already mentioned. This is usually with 2 of our researchers or lecturers, and they work through a number of standardized lists. So we have a lot of lists that we go through, and every time it's a different one. But I'll go through a standardized list, and then afterwards give a positive or negative advice based on the interview. And if you get a negative advice, unfortunately, we will let you know that you're not accepted. But if you get a positive advice, you will be placed on the waiting list. And then 4 times in the year, we have a meeting where we look at all the students on the waiting list, and we place the best 40% in the first case, and then the next one we place up to 75% of the program. So we just go through the list. If you're not placed in the first meeting, you might still make a chance in the second one, because it depends a lot on the other candidates. But applying earlier gives you better chances, because a lot of places are already given away in February and March, as you can see. When the program is full, but maybe someone withdraws, then you can still be placed from the waiting list, although we also understand that by that time you might have other plans. And if there's an exception, if you score really high and well on the interview, then we might also offer you a place immediately. That's up to the program, to the selection committee. If you decide you want to apply, please do it as soon as possible, but definitely before the 1st of April if you're from outside the European Union, or before the 1st of May if you're a European citizen. That's also the housing deadline. I'll get to housing in a moment. Tuition fees first. You see here the European fees and the non-European fees. They go up a little bit every year, so keep an eye on the website, but these are the fees for next year. Unfortunately, we have no scholarships available for next year. This is the first year that we don't have any. We're facing some budget cuts as well. So that's a little bit of bad news, unfortunately. Then housing, like I said, if you're an international student, that means your bachelor degree or your previous education is outside the Netherlands, and you do an English taught program, which MMD is, then you can apply for housing through the university. After admission, you will receive a link with a voucher, and you can log in with that personal voucher and see which rooms are available for you. Price, size, location, how many people you share facilities with, and then you can pick the room that best suits you. On the right, you see the living costs. You see here that accommodation varies from $450 to $650 per month. And then you have food, transport, and other costs. Together, it's just around 600 euros. So per month, 1,000 to 1,300 euros it will cost you to live and study in the Netherlands. Of course, it depends on your lifestyle and, like I said, your accommodation. That was the information about the program. We'll go into the questions in a moment. If you want to learn more about the program, please visit our open days or our webinars. You can also chat with a student. You can come and visit us and tag along with a student for a day. So have a look at our website. You'll see all the events listed there. The next Hybrid Master Open Day is on 7 March. We'll also have 2 webinars on 13 January, but you will not get more information than you already got here. But if you have questions, you want to chat to someone, that might be a good thing to join. But otherwise, I would recommend the Masters Open Day. And if you want to reach out to us, please email us or reach out on LinkedIn. The bottom 2 social media are university-wide, but the LinkedIn one is MMD specific. Have a look at our website. And then I think we're now open for questions. And I also wanted to ask Luc to share that video about the alumni. And I also thought of another video to share about MMD, which I will do now in the chat. And then,
okay. Yeah, go ahead and share that. I see you just did. So there it is in the chat. The other video I will display right after this session. So if you want to see that, you can stay on. But also it's available under the apps. And I think it's under, no, under links, sorry. So that's where you can find it as well. So we will make that available. There's the YouTube video. And there's also more information now I'm talking about that. You can also find an e-check about the Radboud University under links, and also the tuition and the curriculum. So the courses and what is included basically in the program. So you'll also find that under links if you want to have a closer look. Good. Let's go to the questions. So we already received some from various people, and some might be a bit more personal and specific, but let's see. We'll try to go over some. Jean Bosco was asking, well, he's having a master in medical laboratory with an interest in hematology and transfusion medicine. I would like to know if you offer a scholarship, and there were some more questions about this, and also if you can join the PhD in the university. I don't know what you can say about that.
Yeah, like I mentioned, we unfortunately do not have scholarships for next year. We don't know yet for the year after. In terms of PhD, as that is a paid job in the Netherlands, we are not involved in that at all. So you would just have to look at the vacancy websites. There's a website, well, you can look at the Radboud UMC vacancies, but there's also a website called Academic Transfer that has all the PhD positions in the whole country for you available. So I would recommend to look there, but I'm not involved at all in PhD recruitment or yeah, so that's the answer to that one.
Yeah, and regarding scholarships, maybe you can just add, although there's no specific scholarship as Luz mentioned, we did research from our side scholarships in general. So we actually ended the handout for that. There are some scholarships mentioned in the Netherlands in general. So do maybe check that out. There might be something that is available and you can have an opportunity there. So it's in the handout section under apps. There's a PDF. All right, next question from Bushra. Has completed a bachelor degree in microbiology and master degree in biotechnology. Can I apply to this course?
Absolutely, yes.
Correct. Okay. And Carmen is asking, I'm 53 years old and I've never worked in this specialization field. I'm working in sales. Is there any chance to be eligible?
I doubt it, to be honest. I mean, if your degree before you started working in sales is in a biology related field, maybe, but a lot of the knowledge will be outdated, and I, to be honest, doubt if you would get through the selection process. But you're free to try. Also, you would be very different from the rest of the student group in terms of age and phase in your life. Yeah, but there's no reason why we wouldn't allow it or anything. There's just, I think, yeah, I'm worried that you wouldn't be eligible.
Okay. Thank you. And let's see, we have a next question. By the way, I just want to highlight briefly the pollings as well. We do have a couple of more questions, but just to get your feedback through the polls as well. So thanks to let us know. I'm going to open up a last polling question right now, just to know what kind of information you're still looking for. So maybe we can still, possibly address something like that if we have time. But yeah. Thank you for your feedback for all the people. So if you're watching live or watching the recording again as well. Next question from Rias. What's the requirement to get admitted? I think Luz mentioned it, but also he has a bachelor in medical biology.
Mm-hmm.
So just to know
medical biology is a really good match. So that would make you eligible. But like I said, it's always a selection process with looking at grades for specific courses, looking at your research experience and doing the interview. But basically with medical biology, yes, you're eligible.
Great. Good to know. So we're getting a thumbs up. Erica's asking about the internship. Is it supported by the state or somehow paid?
In basic, no, it's not paid, but I know that it depends on where you do your internship. If you go abroad, for example, you will get maybe an Erasmus scholarship or something like that. There might be, if you go into a company for your internship, you might be able to get some payment, but generally, especially the ones within our own hospital, they will be unpaid. Yeah.
If I may add something, actually.
Yes,
I was researching this today and talking with my mentor, who is also my primary investigator on the internship I'll be doing. Yes, they're not paid, but you can request it for internships abroad. And also, what I already have experience with is that a lot of times the research group that you're a part of will accommodate it so that you can join seminars, for example. So that is a really good way to compensate you for working with them, because these are really expensive. And oftentimes, if you attend a seminar and you're there for a whole day, there was a Netherlands biotechnology and tissue engineering seminar last week to which I went. And afterwards, I checked the prices and they were not coverable by me, but the group, my mentor, covered them. And I think that's a really good way to compensate as well, even though I was looking at whether I could find a way to.
Yeah, so you might be sort of get paid in kind by these kind of things. Yeah.
Good, thank you, Laura. That's helpful. Question from Ernest. He has a bachelor in chemistry from Ghana and a medical degree from Ukraine. Does he make him a suitable candidate for the program?
Could be. We've had chemistry students before. Usually medicine students are not eligible because they don't have enough research experience, but with the combination with chemistry, you might very well be, yeah.
Great, thank you. So there are some, specific personal cases, of course, so I guess in a way, if you're interested to apply, I would assume, and then try your luck there and hopefully you get through. So Lorena asks also, Lorena is a third-year student at the Medical Laboratory Diagnostics of the University of Applied Health Sciences in Zagreb, in Croatia. Like Lara, I think, right? Is it possible to continue the studies in molecular medicine at your university, so at this program?
Molecular mechanisms of disease, you mean then? Because molecular medicine is also a program that we have. Molecular mechanisms of disease, yes. Although, like I said before, it needs to be a research university, not an applied science university. They do make exceptions. If you did some strong research, or your internship is high graded, your grades are high in the program, then you could be eligible. I don't know, Lara, if you're familiar with the program, maybe, and know a bit more if you think it could be a good match, but. If for Lorena, for me, you could also just email us your transcript and we could have a look and we'll let you know. That goes for everyone that we've answered so far. Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to try.
Okay.
And I think those were the questions we've received. There's one more in the chat I'm seeing now, so I will answer that or read it out. I'm just going to share with you, though, the link to the portal from Radboud University. So if you click on that, it will open up and you will be directed to the admission application page. So there you can go through that, but also and apply directly. You also see other options there, the career prospects, events, testimonials, tuition. So there you have everything pretty much there as well. So just click on that and opens up, and you at your own time right after this you can have a look. Question from Gavril, I saw, or Emil, I think, sorry. Similar question, regarding a completely different profile, I think, currently enrolled in a robotics master and planning to pivot towards more biology and life sciences. If it would be eligible in this program, or I don't know, Luce, if you know another where.
I'm a bit hesitant. With robotics master, I don't see the background. I'm not sure what ML stands for. That's machine learning.
So
no, then it will be very difficult to make that switch in the Netherlands. Usually, you need really a related bachelor's to get into a master's. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, thank you as well. And also for everyone else, if you have still any questions, we still have a couple of minutes left, so we can go over that. Now is your moment, basically, right? So you have 2 students here and the experts on the program. So do let us know. Now, whilst people might be thinking still, I'm going to check one polling, the last one. But I think you covered some of it, but what kind of information people are still looking for? The housing was the top one, which I know is always a tough one as well in the Netherlands as well. Anything else to say about that, Luce?
Yeah, I think in terms of housing, we are very lucky as a university that we can still offer all our international students a room. I explained before that you have influence in choosing which room you want. It's also available for the duration of your studies, or for a year and a half if you already know for sure that you want to go abroad. And that's quite new. It used to be only for 1 year, and that was really tricky, but now it's for the duration of the program. Unfortunately, if you did your bachelor's in the Netherlands, then you don't qualify for this, because then the university assumes that you can either commute or have enough of a network to find a room. So that's good to know. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. We did get another question in the meantime from Lily. Are there any opportunities to complete the research in the industry within this program, or is it limited to the academia setting?
No, it's for us, it's fine to also go into industry. The requirement is that you have a supervisor from our program or from the UMC next to the supervisor that you would have in the industry. But we don't have a list of set places. You have to find your own place. And students, of course, often end up going to where students went in previous years. But it's absolutely fine to go to a new place. We've also had students going into industry, at least for the second internship. I don't know, Lara or Sophie, if you've heard of anyone maybe in the second year going into industry for their internship. But I do know it's possible. But also know the second years that we currently have is only a small group, it's only 10 or 12 students, right? So. So it's possible. It's not as common. So most students stay in academia. They go to a hospital or a university.
Okay. Great. Thank you. And I'm checking if there's any more question. And don't see any questions for the rest. We're getting thank you already, so that's good to see. And I actually have a last question for everybody. Unless there's still one coming in, then you can still ask it. But I wanted to basically see how we did. So how you feel the session was. So I'm going to put that on the screen as well. Now you can put it over our heads. Sorry about that. Just to give us your feedback. If it was meeting your expectations. So we'd like to know that, of course. And if there's anything else you want to add, then go ahead by all means. Let us know in the chat. And whilst we're getting that in, thank you for your votes. Yeah, so I think then that's wrapping up the session. No further questions, then everything is clear. And again, you have the links under at the left bottom under apps and the handout as well. There's one with scholarships as well, so do check it out. And I hope that all was very useful to all of you, and it's that we are able to see some of you maybe in Nijmegen next year.
Hope so.
And from my side, I'd like to thank also everyone at the presenters. Thanks for Sophie and Lara. Thanks a lot for your time and your insights.
Thank you for helping out. Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Luz.
It was really nice.
Maybe last word for you, Luz, to finish off the session.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you all for joining or for watching this at home. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. You can email us admissions@radboudumc.nl. You can, I think Sophie's on the website as a uni buddy where you can chat to her, but you can also ask for the email addresses or contact details of any student of your own country, for example, who did a similar bachelor degree. We're always happy to put you in touch. So don't be afraid to ask anything. See the thumbs up coming in. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Clara. I'm a 21-year-old bachelor student, and today I will be visiting 4 alumni from the master's program in molecular mechanisms of disease. I'll be asking them about their current I'm now in the lab with Pascal. Pascal, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm assistant professor at the